It's the story of a poor boy. I'm Mikey.
I'm Matt.
And we are coming to you directly after Liverpool have just beaten Crystal Palace 2-0 away from home against a supposed bogey team who we've now beaten 5 times in a row at their place.
Easy.
One more.
Never in doubt.
Yep, okay. And that's been this week's The Story. Yep, so Liverpool with what we'd call a thoroughly professional performance tonight.
In other words.
Yeah, I mean, the type of result that a team plumbing for the title needs. Maybe it's a bit early in the season to be saying things like that. But
not after last week. Come on,
Crystal Palace will take points off of, I would say, at least 3 of the top 6 this season.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
United will probably be one of them. We'll get to them later. But yeah, Liverpool, fantastic in the departments that we had to be fantastic in. Averaging other areas today. It's disappointing from the front 3 for a change, but Mane still comes away with a goal. It's just what they do.
And Salah with 2 assists.
It's just what they do, isn't it? They just get shit done. Firmino's poor, but we're not going to focus on the negatives. We're going to talk about the positives, and the positives I want to start with is how good at football is Virgil van Dijk.
So good. He's just an absolute Adonis at the back, isn't he? Like, nothing went through him. It was absolutely ridiculous.
This is the game. Not this game in particular, but this is the when you sign a player like Virgil van Dijk, this is the game you have in mind. Stoke away, it used to be, didn't it? Do you know what I mean? West Ham away when you come up against Andy Carroll. But what I'm alluding to is playing against Christian Benteke with fast lads all around him.
Yeah. When we get bullied at the back in the last minute, they throw their big guys up, and our centre backs would buckle under the pressure. And
tonight we see a great performance. And do you know what? I'm lashing it all on Virgil van Dijk here. Joe Gomez, it cannot be stated enough, for somebody who's playing his second game in the Premier League as a centre half. Obviously he's played a lot of football, but most of that as a right back. For his second appearance as centre half, he's fucking fantastic himself.
Yeah, he made a really, really good tackle against Zaha, which didn't end up going out for the corner, and Trent managed to pick it up. But both of them showed such great pace and strength.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, and across the back 4, we look good today. Alexander-Arnold's crossing was a bit erratic again, but as the game grew, he seemed to grow with it.
I didn't think Robertson was great. I thought he was a bit wasteful at times.
I can see where you're coming from slightly, but I think his defensive work more than made up for that. Yeah. When you say he's not great, I'm fine with Andy Robertson being a 7 out of 10 this week.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's not the heights that we're used to from Robertson.
That was a thoroughly Nathaniel Klein performance from Andy Robertson.
Take that away at Crystal Palace.
Exactly, and it's still much better than any left back we've had in a long time. So, but yeah, I mean, I've moved on too quickly there from Virgil van Dijk. I just want to talk about how boss he is again. There's quite a few headers he's won tonight, but the 2 that Neville and Carragher have focused on are the one where he basically sets up the chance for the red card.
It starts the counter attack, isn't it?
And also the one for the goal, and it is literally that kind of attitude of, and me and you have spoke about it loads of times about Coutinho, where he just have this "I'm the best player on the pitch" attitude, and Virgil van Dijk has this, listen, I'm gonna win this ball whether you like it or not, and it's that kind of never say die attitude.
And he's not only gonna win it, he's gonna set up an attack with it as well.
It's not an aimless header. It's not a punt out the box, which maybe we were a bit used to with Jamie Carragher or Martin Skrtel, for example. I mean, Jamie Carragher is my favourite footballer of all time, but he wasn't as collected, shall we say, as Virgil van Dijk was in those situations.
Yeah.
And that header is, both those headers are just absolutely fantastic. Exactly what Liverpool need in those situations to deal with any issues from a massive Crystal Palace team, to be fair. We go ahead very late in the first half, through what is probably one of the clearer penalties you're ever going to see in terms of the fact that he's been
controversial.
Fouled. He's been fouled 3 times.
Yeah. Sacco did just keep kicking.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how anyone is saying that it's a controversial decision. It's a penalty.
If it's the other way around, and it's Van Dijk kicking the shins of Wilfried Zaha or Andros Townsend, there's absolutely no way that we're sitting here having this conversation. It's because it's Liverpool. It's because it's Liverpool, and it's very popular to dislike Liverpool and everything we do.
Yeah.
Mohamed Salah is one of football's nice guys, you feel. And he has not thrown himself to the floor because Sacco's around him. Sacco has kicked him, and he has gone down. He's entitled to go down in that situation. And do you know what? Even if he has gone down easily, even if, and even if he has died, I don't give a flying fuck. Liverpool, it's about time we got a decision like that. Liverpool did not get penalties last season.
Oh, God, yeah. And Salah got kicked the shit out of, didn't go down all last season, didn't get any pens. Maybe he's just fed up with it. Yeah, maybe Klopp's told him, like, look, if you feel someone kick you 3 times, go down. And get a pen.
Yeah, and it's calmly dispatched by James Milner.
Mr. Dependable.
It's, you're just never in doubt, really, with Milner, are you? One thing I will say about the decision is that it just goes to show the upgrade that we've made, because we've already spoke about how fantastic Virgil van Dijk is. It shows the upgrade we've made in the left-hand side of centre-half from what we used to have.
Yeah.
And Mamadou Sakho did his classic thing that he used to do for us, where he just make the really easy stuff look very difficult, but the really difficult stuff look like it's the easiest thing in the world. And it grew wearisome watching from a Liverpool fan watching Crystal Palace today, let alone from a Liverpool fan watching Liverpool like it used to be.
He's such an enigma, isn't he?
He is. If he could sort his feet out, he'd be a fucking top quality centre half. But
I'm not sure if you can fix that without major surgery, though. So
yeah, you're probably right there. He's just a bit gormless, really. Another player who played really well today before we get onto the second goal, Naby Keita.
Yes. When you mentioned what we used to say about Coutinho, is like he would just decide he was the best player on the pitch. Naby Keita did that a couple of times this match. There was one point which I'm sure everyone has fresh in their mind, when he gets the ball in our half, absolutely filthy turn, and then sends it through for Salah, who then nearly scores an audacious chip over the keeper, and it would have been the greatest assist of all time.
If that's 4 games into the season, Salah scores that.
Yeah. Salah's
4 games further into the season, sorry.
Salah seems a little bit rusty and touches a little bit off, but oh God.
Yeah, and there's a lot to be excited about. What I meant with the Coutinho thing that we used to say, and now the Van Dijk and the Keita, is that it's a presence. It's not so much an attitude. Well, it is an attitude, but it's an attitude. It's a presence that comes about because of that attitude.
Yeah,
and it's literally, it's almost a swagger about somebody who's very good at football, and you can just kind of always tell. And I've always said that about Eden Hazard. When he comes to Anfield, you just get this presence, and you just get a presence of a good footballer. And Virgil van Dijk is the first time in a long while I've felt that from a centre half. Naby Keita is the first time I've felt it in a long while from a centre midfielder at Liverpool, since another number 8 that we used to have.
Thought you were going to make the comparison there. I was like,
nah, it's much too early for that. It's much too early for that. Gerrard was good, but he's no Naby Keita. No, I mean,
brilliant.
It'll come. That comparison is inevitable. He's wearing the same shirt number, and that comparison will come over time. It's up to Keita really to deal with it. Klopp's comments there were quite interesting about him in the post-match, where he's talking about how Keita's quite shy and he's sticking quite close to Mane, who he gets on with already, and he needs to express himself a little bit more, kind of thing. Make sure that the other players know that he likes them, is what Jürgen said.
What I take away from that is if he's got this good connection on the field with the rest of the team now, and he's being a little bit introverted, a little bit shy, not really gotten to know him, it can only get better once he comes out of his shell a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. There are a couple of occasions tonight where, I mean, he's fantastic, and it might well be down to the other players as much as it is him. But there are a couple of passes that he tries tonight where he's just not quite on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
There's one in particular where James Milner's trying to pass it out to the wing and Keita just runs across the pass. And it's almost like he's expecting Milner to just slot him through.
Yeah.
He tries to dink Salah through at one point and Salah just goes the complete opposite direction. These little things are what come with time. And it's very easy to forget.
With getting to know the squad.
Yeah, and it's very easy to forget that we're sitting here and we're lauding him as what he could be. He could be the missing piece that we've been lacking for years. He's 23. He's 23 years old. It'll come with time, and the longer they play together, the better they're going to be. All four of them. Another player who was very, very good in Liverpool's midfield tonight is Gini Wijnaldum.
Yes,
not a lot
everywhere again.
Yeah,
just really calm on the ball.
Very important tackle as well towards the end on Wilfred
Yes.
Zaha. Wins the ball back so cleanly. He uses it well, and he just never seems to get dispossessed.
Exactly. Yeah, I think his distribution was really, really good today.
I mean, we needed Henderson to come on when he did, and Jordan Henderson comes on, and he just adds a patience to Liverpool's midfield that. James Milner's a fantastic footballer, but James Milner's quite eager to get forward, you kind of feel quite a bit. Whereas Jordan Henderson is fine with just putting his foot on the ball and just being like, listen lads, just calm. And I'm just going to find Trent and he'll give me it back and then I'll find Robbo and vice versa and I'll knock it back to Virgil if I need to. That's fine. I don't care. As long as Liverpool have the ball.
Yeah.
And Liverpool needed that at 1-0 when Henderson comes on. And it allowed Wijnaldum to go and do the chasing, which he's very good at as well. And it's a very... I mean, I've already said it was a professional performance from Liverpool. It's a very professional performance from Gini Wijnaldum as well. It's one of those where it's a job we didn't think he was quite capable of when he first came in at Liverpool. I expected the left midfielder who could score a lot of goals for Liverpool.
I expected a Cam.
Yeah, and instead we've got a CDM who's...
Sound, why not?
Yeah, why not? Fuck it, Jurgen Klopp knows a lot more about football than everybody on the planet.
Exactly.
That.
Played him as centre-half last year, it was great.
Yeah. Away at Brighton. We'll get to that in a bit. Right, so, I mean, I've covered how incredible Liverpool's midfield was. The strike force is lacking today. I know we've mentioned it already, but there's a sharpness that wasn't there today.
Yeah, Firmino's a bit off the pace. I think Salah's first touch is letting him down. I used to, like last season, I would praise his first touch. That would be the main thing because he's just so good, so intelligent. But he just seems a little bit rusty with it at the minute. Mane, as ever, is weird. I just think that's Mane, to be honest.
Sadio Mane can go from being like he can go from being an absolute fantastic footballer. Like, he can go from being Cristiano Ronaldo to Ryan Babel in a heartbeat. In fact, let's go Liverpool terms. He can go from being John Barnes to Ryan Babel in a heartbeat. He is that kind of player. He's absolutely infuriating. I suppose Ryan Babel could do that, but he was more. Do you remember when Ryan Babel? I can't believe I'm on Ryan Babel here. But do you remember when Ryan Babel scored that screamer in the Champions League against Lyon away, and then 30 seconds later we get a free kick and he hits it out for a throw-in. Yeah, sorry, but yeah, like it's that kind of thing, but it's a lot less infuriating because Mane's he's developing a consistency a little bit now, and he takes his goal so well, really well today. He does so well to stay on his feet, and I think had Mane been maybe if Mane had scored more goals last season, he probably doesn't go down. He probably goes down there. but it's the eagerness to stay up. And he wants goals this season.
Oh,
you can
definitely,
tell.
yeah.
He wasn't happy with Salah overtaking him last season, in the slightest. And I think this season, I mean, my Player of the Year prediction. If Liverpool are to do anything, Sadio Mane proved once again tonight he will be key.
It's nice to have that healthy competition between our forwards again.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't think. Obviously, they're not annoyed at each other for getting goals.
No.
But they're a little bit jealous that it's not them.
Sturridge and Suarez.
Exactly. Yeah. You could see Salah was angry today. He wanted. Yeah. He really, really wanted a goal. I think it's partly down to being
chased after everything as well today, Salah.
Yeah, I think it's partly down to being called a cheat by the Palace fans minus their ultras.
Yeah.
I don't think he liked that. And there was a point when he lost the ball, and ordinarily you'd think, okay, he would stay up and wait for the midfield to win it back, and then he would spring the counter. But he tracked back into our own half to win it back, because he just seemed really, really up for it and angry and like he wanted a goal. He doesn't want Mane to steal his crown. He still wants that. It's going to be fascinating to watch over the season. Really is.
It really, really is. It's, as you say, it's nice to have that healthy competition back a little bit.
While we were on Mane, it was really, really nice to see him skin someone on the outside again, because it's been a long, long time since we've seen that.
Yeah, he tried it a couple of times tonight.
Yeah.
Wan-Bissaka tried to give him a run for his money.
And again, it's that hunger.
It is.
Like Mane wants to beat his man.
Yeah, and it is brilliant to see. It really is. We've not covered the answer to all of our problems in Alisson Becker today. I mean,
so big, isn't he?
He is. It's just, it's that word against presence. It's just he just, the ball comes towards him, and all right, when it comes towards his feet, I will shit myself every single time, and that's not his.
You should have seen Mikey cringing every time. He's like, "Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it."
I can't get used to it. I've seen Liverpool goalkeepers for so long now, since Pepe Reina. I mean, even Pepe Reina towards the end, he was just fucking. He just didn't have that kind of confidence about him. But I've seen Sam Mignolet do it so many times. I've seen Karius try it a couple of times. It's just, but I mean, I will get used to it. I will have to. But I mean, he's very confident. He's a very, very reassuring kind of player as well. And it's fantastic to have him in goal. It really is.
It is. See, this situation with you is like you've had your heart broken by an ex, and you're not quite ready to love again yet, but you need to be. You need to be.
No,
he's not going to break your heart like these others. Not like your ex.
No, it's not that.
He's different.
It's not so much that. It is. I mean, if we're going to use an analogy, it is. I'm terrified of wasps. Okay. Right. I'm absolutely terrified of wasps.
Yep.
And the reason I'm terrified of wasps is because once when I was in Drayton Manor, I got stung on the lip by a wasp, and it was flying around my mouth. Someone went, "Don't close your mouth. There's a wasp next to you." So the first thing I did was go, and caught it in my mouth. It stung me on the lip, and I was walking around looking like Bubba from Forrest Gump for the rest of the day. And ever since that day, I've been petrified of wasps. But it's an irrational fear kind of thing. I'm massive. They're not gonna fucking kill me. But it's still there. And I've been stung before by Liverpool goalkeepers, and it's their fault. But yeah, there you go. That's the analogy I'm going with. I would say I can't use the X analogy. That was my Michael Owen analogy.
Ah, that's true.
Way back when.
Got too many X's, you.
Yeah, I have to. Love you, Jamie.
Silently playing the Xbox there. Seeding.
Yeah. No, I mean, Alisson, he dealt with everything.
Came and claimed his corners, punched well when he had to.
Yeah.
Distribution was really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, Sky cameras didn't pick it up either, but I think there was a moment where Wilfried Zaha got very pissed off with him for not being quicker.
Yeah.
And if he's a little bastard as well, I mean, I'm all for that. I'm all for that.
Do love a bastard. we've got Alisson and Keita now as like Liverpool's bastards, I'd be dead happy with that.
Kick shit out
and
of
maybe even a little bit of Salah.
Maybe.
If he's going to be branded a cheat, just go for it. Not someone. Turn into Costa.
Well, it's 6 points on the board for Liverpool now.
It is 6 points.
6 points from 2 games. That is matching
keeping pace with City.
Yeah. I mean, if we have a quick glance at the Premier League table, which means absolutely fuck all at this point, but why not? We may as well. Top are Man City with a goal difference of +7. Second are Liverpool with a goal difference of +6. Then Chelsea, Tottenham, keeping pace already. Other teams on the same points total, Watford and Bournemouth. But drop points already at this stage, Man United and Arsenal. Obviously Arsenal, no points from the first 2. It's not an ideal start for them. And before we move on, man of the match for Liverpool today.
Probably Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah, it's Virgil van Dijk, isn't it? I mean, it's just, there's a shout out in there for Naby Keita.
Yeah, I considered it, but I think Virgil throughout, the whole 90 minutes was just a class above. Yeah,
definitely. And hopefully he brings Joe Gomez into that class as well, because Joe Gomez has looked very, very assured.
Yeah, he was really good today.
Yeah, hopefully we can see that partnership develop over the next couple of seasons. So,
yeah, be nice.
Why not? So on to the other games for the weekend. Just a brief recap, because we don't want to do a massive long episode tonight, because it's late and we've both got work and we're both
I just got back from Norway and I'm knackered. I climbed a mountain yesterday.
Up the Norwegian Reds. So I mean, I've just mentioned them that Arsenal, no points. They got beat by Chelsea this weekend after getting beat by City the first weekend.
It's a hard start to the season.
It is.
You've got to hope for at least a point in that.
You have, if you've got top 4 ambitions, but it all depends on what Arsenal have set out.
I mean, they've definitely got top four ambitions.
Ambitions are one thing, but if they've got a realistic target, is what I mean. Obviously, I said they could finish as high as 3rd, they could finish as low as 5th. I didn't expect Chelsea to start this well, but even then, Arsenal they created stuff against Chelsea. They created chances.
Yeah, attacking wise, they were really quite good.
And there is something about them. That Guendouzi in midfield played very well against Chelsea. I thought he was awful against City. I thought he was the worst player on the pitch. Others thought he was the best player for Arsenal on the pitch somehow.
Idiots.
But yeah, I think he has. He was very, very good against Chelsea, picked a lot of passes out, but I think Chelsea give Arsenal the opportunity to find those gaps. And what I'm getting at really is that I think Arsenal, against teams who aren't maybe as defensively disciplined as, against teams who give you a bit more of a chance on the ball in the attack, in your attacking, like West Ham this weekend, for example. Then Arsenal will create chances and Arsenal will get goals this season.
Of course. Like they created quite a lot of chances against Chelsea. Like arguably, Arsenal probably on quality of chances that they created should have won.
Aubameyang misses that chance and then Morata goes up the pitch 55 seconds later and scores.
Exactly. It's about being clinical. It's about all of the forwards being on the same wavelength, I guess. I think that game perfectly showed both teams' weaknesses, Chelsea's weakness and Arsenal's weakness. Arsenal play a ridiculously high line, and against anyone with pace, that is just disaster.
Yeah. You need to be having a goalkeeper who's not Petr Cech, who's used to coming out and dealing with those situations.
And their midfield is shite. I'm sorry, Guendouzi's not good.
He's 20 years old.
His passing is good. I'll give him that. But to have a midfield pivot two of him and Xhaka, that is not good enough. That is not good enough to finish in the top 4. That is not good enough to beat any of the top 4, any of the top 6 teams.
That's fair. That's definitely fair.
Like when I say that is one of their weaknesses, and that game highlighted that weakness.
It's not the youth's fault in that scenario. It's the experience, and that's Granit Xhaka. And Granit Xhaka's the weakness in that midfield. It's not so much Guendouzi, I don't think. He's a kid. he'll learn things in that midfield the longer he plays.
Yeah,
and I mean, he looks like he's got an eye for a pass already.
Definitely. Yeah, there's talent there.
He's stepped up from League 2, League 2, I guess. My French is flawless as always.
Excellent.
But he's made that jump. He's in a physical league now where he's not going to get any time on the ball that he wants. I'm not sure what the standard is in League 2. I don't expect it to be very high, but I think Arsenal fans are right to be excited about him. To be fair, I was very harsh on him in the first game.
Yeah,
but he played well.
No, that's fair. You noticed something about Chelsea.
Yeah, and I was about to mention that then. Yeah, so I want to talk about Chelsea a little bit now because I think the performance for the first 20 minutes from Chelsea is exactly what Sarri wanted, and it's a high intensity press, but it's something that Chelsea have never played particularly anyway. Well, not that I've ever noticed anyway. I've never seen them do it under Mourinho, and I've never seen them do it under Conte, just in recent history. So I don't think those players are conditioned to do it yet. And it's not like they've all had the massive pre-season that we had under Jurgen Klopp when he first came, when he had his first full season ahead, and everyone was like, right, he's got a full pre-season now, he'll get them in, and he'll get them used to playing his style of football, and then all of a sudden, we're outrunning teams all over the place. Chelsea haven't had that because their best players have been at the World Cup, and they haven't been able to be conditioned, and you could tell so quickly that those gaps start forming in that Chelsea defence, that Arsenal were finding, because the midfield just didn't have the legs to do what he wanted them to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a very fit midfield, in all fairness. I mean, just looking at Jorginho and Kante, Jorginho's played that style of football for Napoli. He's used to it. Kante is the kind of person where you look around and you think there's three of them on the pitch. And Ross Barkley is Ross Barkley. But you could just kind of tell that the game, you've got Kante playing in a slightly out of position in a more advanced role, which he's not quite used to. You've got Jorginho playing in a different league, which he's still acclimatising to. And then you've got Ross Barkley, who didn't fit in last season properly. They're still getting used to it, and I think once they get used to it, and once they get used to that, maybe that intensity, it'll come. But when you're getting used to a new position and then you're being asked to go and chase after the ball and you're going to go and put pressure on players, the defence started getting a little bit ragged. And with David Luiz and Max Alonso being the left side of Chelsea's defence, there are going to be chances caused from an attacking team's right-hand side.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, the right-hand side for Chelsea of Azpilicueta and Rudiger, that's perfect, basically. I mean, Rudiger's had shaky moments, but in terms of a defensive base to build on, that's ideal. I think if David Luiz wasn't there, we'd probably see Azpilicueta playing centre-half alongside Rudiger. That's how good he is. But yeah, those gaps open up because Chelsea just start feeling tired. I think that's the impression I got when I watched the game. The longer it went on, the more ragged Chelsea seemed to become, and the more Arsenal grew into it. And it was when they get a chance to regroup in the second half, Chelsea, and they get a chance to put their foot on the ball and just keep it at their tempo, that they grow into it, and they shore up the win.
Yeah,
and they make sure that they win that game, much in the same way Liverpool did today, when Henderson comes on. That's exactly the kind of thing that Chelsea did. And I mean, Eden Hazard comes on, he plays his part as he always does. He leads defenders on a merry chase, as he always seems to, and then there's no end product. But yeah.
The thing with the high intensity pressing game as well, when you're playing a game like that, it's not just the midfield's job to do that pressing in the midfield.
Yeah.
You forwards have to help out. Like we do it, Spurs do it. Chelsea,
City
not some, yeah, of course, yeah. Chelsea at the minute, it wasn't great. Willian and Pedro, I don't think were at the best. Morata is not that kind of player. It's going to be weird for a while watching them try and implement this pressing.
Yeah,
this Sarri ball that the internet has decided to call it.
I mean,
which is just
that's weird, and it makes me wonder why Batshuayi's currently out at Valencia.
That boggles my mind. I do not understand it at all.
Because I mean, you aren't going to get this high intensity from Morata, and you're not going to get it from Olivier Giroud either. So what's the end game here? Is Hazard going to play striker for Chelsea when everyone's fit? Is that the target? I can't work it out, to be honest. I mean, he's done that before. He moved Mertens. Moved Mertens into the middle and played Insigne, Mertens and Jose Callahan at right wing. Look at me knowing the Serie A. But
you said you were going to be I
want to be a league
footy nerd.
I want to be a league ball. I want to just be one of those people who's just like, oh look, he's an expert in the Slovenian League 1. I want to be one of those fellas.
I believe in you.
I want to be one of those fellas who, when Liverpool sign Marco Grujic, I can turn around and go, listen, Marco Grujic, he's destined for bigger things. Do you know what I mean? That kind of fella. It's Moses Simon from Belgium. Nigerian, playing in Belgium. That's who I want to be. I want to be someone who can look at him and just be like, yeah, he's boss. Liverpool will do well, and people go, he knows stuff.
I like it. I believe in you. Do it.
That's the end goal. So Chelsea level on points with Liverpool. Another team level on points with Liverpool, as I've already said. One place above us, Manchester City. 6-1 against Huddersfield.
Yeah, it was a very predictable result, to be honest.
He somehow managed to flatter both teams. 6-1. Because Man City didn't look like a team who deserved to win 6-1. But at the same time, Huddersfield did not look like a team who were in any way capable of stopping Man City from scoring goals.
With what their keeper did for, was it Aguero's first?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, they
deserve to lose that after that. I'm sorry, Lexi, but my God.
The commentator for Sky kept saying, oh yeah, Manchester City's record win is 10-1 against Huddersfield. Very doubtful we're going to get a repeat of that score. And I was like, is it?
It was probably just doubtful that Huddersfield would score one.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they did eventually, obviously. One thing I do want to mention about it, I don't want to talk about it too much because it was such a comfortable win for Manchester City and it upsets me. But one thing I do want to talk about is they looked pretty vulnerable from set pieces.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I've just realised you haven't watched this game. So it's just going to be me telling
I watched a bit.
Yeah.
But I was hiking at the time.
They look like a team who they're very short, Man City.
Yeah.
And you only realise that when they're stood next to big players. Because, I mean, it's probably down to presence again, and that's the buzzword of this episode. I might just call this episode presence.
Nice.
But it's very, very much when you see these big, intimidating footballers as it is, alongside the likes of David Silva and Sergio Aguero, you just kind of like, what are you maybe you aren't that good defensively, because once Vincent Kompany comes out of that City team, there's not like someone who you see winning headers like Virgil van Dijk.
I was going to say, there's not a Virgil van Dijk in that defence.
Yeah, Kompany is the Virgil van Dijk, if you like. I mean, Vincent, we shouldn't really be saying that. Virgil van Dijk is the next Vincent Kompany, if you will. Vincent Kompany's been absolutely fantastic for Man City, and he's probably the reason they've won the titles that they have won up to this point. But his injury record is terrible. Mm-hmm. And if he gets a De Bruyne-esque knock, then I think there's a vulnerability to City that Huddersfield only managed to exploit once, because it was the only time they managed to get the fucking ball up to Manchester City's defensive third. But yeah, ominous signs from Man City.
Yeah, and especially with no De Bruyne, no Sterling, still be able to knock six past Huddersfield.
Yeah, and certain players just didn't even need to fucking break sweat. Leroy Sané, for example, Bernardo Silva didn't get out of first gear.
But I don't agree with people flapping, thinking that City look on fire and it's incredibly ominous, because right tonight we haven't won games by 5 goals against crap teams. We do that loads.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm what I'm getting at though with that is that, as you said, De Bruyne's missing, Sterling's missing. Liverpool don't beat West Ham 4-0 in the first weekend. And we've got options now. Don't get me wrong, we've got options there. But if Mane and Salah aren't playing, Liverpool don't win 4-0 in that first game.
Yeah, of course. I'm not saying that our squad depth's anything like this.
Yeah, and that's all I'm getting at in terms of being ominous for the season coming ahead. Should we talk about Man United?
Yeah!
Because I don't really want to talk about Tottenham. Boring. Harry Kane scored in August. Woo! He's shit. I honestly think he's the most overrated player in the Premier League, but he keeps scoring goals, so
he's a fridge.
It won't stick up. It won't stack up against anything if I say he's overrated, because he just keeps scoring goals and that's all he's paid to do. But at the same time, he does fuck all else. If you take them goals away, which obviously goals are the most important part of football, if you take those goals away, he does fuck all for that team. Bobby Firmino at least does some fucking running and some pressing. Kane is just so wrapped up in the I'm boss of it all that he does fuck all. I hate him. But yeah, Man United. Man United lose 3-2 away at Brighton. It's the second time they've lost at Brighton in the last 2 seasons.
It's great, isn't it?
I love it. I am so happy. I'm just so incredibly content with that happening. If that could happen every year, I'd love that. And Brighton are trying their best to make it happen every year.
Yeah.
No, all jokes aside, Brighton were fantastic first half.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. And you give them a lot more credit than I did.
I said they are a better team than a lot of people give them credit for. They are defensively very sound. They've got a good manager. They've got a good manager at the helm. He knows how to keep them up. I think he knows how to get at a big team like United. And they're just a brave team. I don't know.
I mean, he will keep them up. There's an argument to say what will he do afterwards, Chris Hughton, because I don't really know what he's done in the Premier League, to be honest, at this point, in terms of building on that. But I suppose all Brighton need at the moment is a manager who will keep them in contention for Premier League football for the next couple of years. Yeah. But the performance against United, and Paul Pogba said this, they just prepared for it better.
Yes.
They wanted every ball more. The midfield challenged for everything more. Pascal Gross is a fantastic footballer, and I would love to see him at some higher level of football. No disrespect intended to Brighton, but if he was playing for a top 6 team, he would be a joy to watch. Do you know who could have done with him this summer? I was going to say Everton, actually, but I thought thinking then it entered Spurs. Spurs probably could have done with him.
Probably, but they could have just done with a signing, to be honest.
Yeah, they could have. The wheels are going to come off that train at some point. But speaking of wheels coming off trains, United are fucked, aren't they, at this point? I mean,
we are only 2 games in, but to lose in that fashion, to go 2-0 down so quickly against a team that United should be beating by rights. I know we're saying that Brighton played very well and are a better team than people think, but United are a better team than them. That's just that.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, it's the manner that it happened. It's the manner of Pogba saying that Brighton prepared better. I wasn't good enough. For Pogba to come out and say that he personally wasn't good enough, I think fair play.
It is astounding to me the flack he's getting for that.
I can't believe it.
He is. I mean, that is literally what I would want, especially from someone who's been captaining the club recently as well. That is exactly what I'd want if I was a Man United fan right now. I would want someone to come out and just be, listen, I hold my hands up. I wasn't great this game, but I know that. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. You need honesty from footballers, because at the end of the day, if you see someone come out and you just go, you know what, we were really unlucky, and on another day we put away those chances and we'll win this game. We've just got to pick it all up and just go on to the next game. You know, all the cliches just.
It's nice to see a bit of honesty, because he could say that, and it is bollocks, because United were really, really not good.
Yeah,
really not good. And it's not like they were sat there parking the bus; they just couldn't create anything. They were so disjointed. It was really, really weird to watch.
Yeah.
Fred, by the way, shite. Sorry.
I mean, there's an argument he should have been sent off for that.
Yeah.
That ridiculous high foot tackle where he just basically swings for the ball, completely misses it, and nearly kicks. I think it's Gross in the face.
Was hilarious to watch, though.
Was hilarious to watch. You are right there. And De Gea's not come to the rescue for a change. It's lovely. What do you make of the whole centre halfness of it all? That the press are currently peddling that Man United are suffering because Mourinho didn't get the centre halves he wanted this summer.
Mourinho bought those centre halves.
Mourinho bought those centre halves.
So I don't. Your CEO of your club has to back your manager.
Mm-hmm.
He does. And Mourinho signed a new contract recently, so you would imagine that there is a lot of faith in the manager from the higher ups in the club, and that he would get backed. The issue with it is I think some part of United wants to build something for the future, for something post Mourinho.
Yeah.
But Mourinho does not think post Mourinho.
No, Mourinho.
He would leave that club on fire if he can win something in the Ashes.
This is the thing, right? And I've had this debate today. Won't name names, but is there an argument that, you know, people clamouring for League Cup and FA Cup and Europa League wins, and, you know, Mourinho won the League Cup and Europa League famously,
and the Charity Shield. Don't forget that.
Don't forget that.
Famous treble.
But is there an argument that winning trophies when your club's in that kind of state and that kind of transition just covers up what's going on? So
to a certain extent, it would paper over the cracks.
Yeah.
But we saw with Arsenal that it doesn't last forever.
This is exactly what I'm saying, and this is exactly why I've had the debate today that I would rather be at this point in time. I would rather be United. I would rather be Liverpool or Spurs. Sorry, I got distracted by the dog. I would rather be Liverpool or Spurs than United or Arsenal, because Liverpool and Spurs have clear plans going forward. I mean, it might not be much in the way of investment from both teams at this point. Liverpool spent obviously a lot of money this summer. I'm not saying we haven't, but in terms of net spend, and somewhere their ears have just pricked up.
Either because they love net spend or they hate net spend. But we'll find out.
Either way, whatever way you swing it, Liverpool and Tottenham haven't invested as much money into the transfers as United, Chelsea, City, and I think Arsenal as well. To be fair, I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't remember Arsenal selling much, and they have spent a fair whack.
Yeah.
So I know they've definitely spent more than Spurs. I'm just thinking in relation to ourselves, really. But those FA Cups you talked about. I mean, Wenger's won 3 of the last 5 at Arsenal, and he's gone now. There's a point where cups are masking, and they are papering over the cracks, as you've just said, the issues that are going on in the club. For example, if Mourinho comes away from this season and he wins an FA Cup and a League Cup, is that's seen as a successful season when you look back at it? But you don't then. I'm trying to think. It
doesn't make you excited for the next season.
Yeah,
it doesn't make you excited for the future of that team.
Yeah, and it's the Mourinho attitude of winning trophies in the short term rather than developing for the long term, and the whole Mourinho 3-year window and then he's gone kind of thing. That kind of attitude is what is killing Manchester United off at this point. And they might well win trophies this season, and they could, as I say, they could win the League Cup, they could win the FA Cup.
It would be a very United and Mourinho thing to do.
Could win the Champions League for all we know. They won't, but they could.
No, they couldn't.
It's just
not that one.
Yeah, it makes me think, if Liverpool had won the league in 2008, 2009, when Hicks and Gillette were in charge and Rafa's in charge, and it's just about to, the scale, the roller coaster's just about to fall down the other end. It just makes you wonder whether or not that would have, what effect that would have had on the club, if that makes sense. I know they were poisonous and they, rightly they've gone, but it's whether or not you can forgive something. a little bit easier. Like, you can forgive, for example, Mourinho not being backed to the hilt if there's trophies coming on in. It's just interesting how certain fans interpret success. For example, I've wrote an article this week about how success should be down to what you make of it. Really, it shouldn't really, and patience in football is key if you want actual trophies to arrive.
Yeah, and it's about progress year on year.
Exactly, and it's about longevity, and it's not about just winning trophies. It's about making sure that a club can sustain it. And Alex Ferguson is the prime example. What he built at Manchester United wasn't done in one season. It was built over the entire period of them being there, and that's how they won 13 league titles. And Mourinho was never going to be that manager to build that kind of dynasty. He's
very much a manager for the now.
Yeah.
When you said, what if we won the league in 08-09 with Hicks and Gillette, I was just thinking that you said they were poison, and I think it would have... They'd have stayed longer, but that poison's still there, and it's still affecting the club. And the longer it's there, the more damage it's going to do.
Which is exactly the point I'm trying to make about Jose Mourinho. Whilst trophies can, and Arsene Wenger as well to a point, whilst trophies feel fantastic in the moment, in terms of building up your club, an FA Cup, and Wigan might have won an FA Cup, but Wigan are now in League One.
Yep.
Are they in? No, they're in Championship. It's a lie. Arsenal might have won 3 out of the 5 last FA Cups, but now they're looking like seriously falling out of the top 4, maybe even out of the top 6 if they can't string something together. And it's down to not addressing problems because you don't think that they're there. Do you know what I mean? Just because you're getting short-term success does not mean that the long-term health of the club is in your best interests by keeping Mourinho. Or Wenger at that point.
Yeah. Back to the centre back problem. I do think it's weird. So Mourinho wanted Alderweireld, and the board wanted Maguire. That's the story apparently. Yeah. It's weird that they got neither. It's weird that they got no one.
Fuck's sake!
What?
Sorry to interrupt. Carragher and Neville have just done the fucking shirts.
God damn it! I missed it. No!
And the shirts will be auctioned for their chosen charity.
Oh, excellent.
Carry on. I'll put the video on afterwards.
I forgot what I was saying.
You're talking about Maguire and Alderweireld.
Yeah, so it's strange that they got neither. It doesn't feel like I want this person or no one, like Klopp with Van Dijk. Yeah. Because the manager and the board are so at odds with each other over who they get. It seems not strange to me that they got no one backed down, no one compromised, and they got neither.
It's not even a Rafa Benitez versus Rick Parry where Rafa goes, all right, I'll have Robbie Keane, but I want Gareth Barry.
Yeah.
At the same time, there's no compromise in that. It's literally just from what we believe anyway, and what we're told. Mourinho went, all right, Alderweireld. Board went, Harry Maguire's better for this club in the long term. Mourinho went, I don't want him, and they went, all right, you're not having anyone then. It's madness. Really, it speaks volumes for how United are getting on.
Yeah,
and I don't think as much gets made of it if they won a trophy last season.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, but there you go. I think
one last thing on the centre back thing.
Saw
a lot of people on Twitter saying, it's like, oh, this is what we get when we don't invest at the back and don't buy the centre backs that the manager wants. We beat Brighton away with Junior Wijnaldum and Emre Can at the back.
We did.
I'll end on that.
No, that's fine. That's what happens when you play good football. You beat teams. Maybe. And Liverpool played good football tonight. Wasn't thrilling. Wasn't Liverpool's classic swashbuckling style. That was hard to say, and I don't know why. It wasn't by any means a classic Jurgen Klopp performance, but it was the performance of teams who challenge for titles, and that is a lovely place to end it, I think. Liverpool will play Brighton this weekend. Hopefully we'll see us on 9 points by the end of the weekend.
We unfortunately won't be there because we've got a stag do.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mark.
I know, yeah, you selfish bastard. I'm sure we'll find somewhere to watch it.
Yeah, we are in charge of which pubs to go to, so yeah,
we are, to be fair. Yeah, so if you could like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Podbean, Podcast Addict, whatever, WordPress. Follow us on WordPress, because as I say, I wrote an article this week which I'm pretty happy with, to be fair, because it took me 4 hours to write, and
it is very good.
Whilst I was sat in a hotel room, I was like, do you know what, I'm going to write about Liverpool because I fancy it, and in the coming weeks we'll try and get more done. Matt's got a particularly good and interesting idea that he wants to do, and I'm not going to spoil it for him, because
we'll just see if I can write.
It's been a while.
My dissertation was crap, so
I'll see yours and I'll raise you mine.
I have a spelling mistake on the first page.
Oh, fuck, I've not read mine back, so I handed in my first draft. I hadn't even read it back.
Oh dear.
Follow us and like us on all the usual channels. If you like what you hear, please share it as well. That's been this week's The Story of a Poor Boy. Up the Reds.
Cheers, guys.